Now, I said I was done covering Disney Star Wars, and for the most part that's true, but every now and again you'll read an article, you'll get a headline so deliciously ridiculous, you just got to talk about it. So welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idle, and Leslie Headland confirms that the Acolyte is the gayest Star Wars and claims that R2-D2 is a lesbian. With Disney and Lucasfilm so deep in the ideological hole, I bet they would be saying this sort of thing even if it wasn't Pride Month, even if it wasn't Gay for Pay Month. So we're going to get into this article. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I bring you nerdy news almost every day, and it doesn't get better than dunking on Disney Star Wars, despite the fact that at this point, it's just old, boring, and not something I care to do very often. Star Wars The Acolyte showrunner Leslie Headland, and remind you that Leslie Headland was the personal assistant of Harvey Weinstein. It's amazing how much the Me Too movement has changed, considering we got someone who definitely knew what was going on behind the scenes at the back rooms of Hollywood, now just preaching about gay and feminism and Star Wars at Disney. Oh, how the times changed. Leslie Headland confirmed that her series is the gayest Star Wars, and she's into it. She also claims that R2-D2 is a lesbian. So, I mean, I've been a Star Wars fan for roughly 30 years or so, and I had no idea that R2-D2 swung that way. You know, R2-D2 getting down on some carpet munching, you learn something new every day. What can I tell you? Being part of the fandom, it brings you some new information. You think you know it all. In an interview with The Wrap, Headland first feigned surprise that making Star Wars gay would not be a talking point. She said, "Is it going to be a talking point?" Now, I'll be real. I'm not watching the show. I'm not going to watch the show. I got no interest. I don't even find it worth going to the high seas to check out how bad it is. Because for people that don't want to give Disney their money, like, no, I canceled Disney Plus. I'm not going to watch this on principle. I totally get it. Then you're going to have other folks that are like going to get their Luffy on and go to the high seas just to see how bad it is. Bro, I get you don't want to spend the money on Disney, but there's something more valuable than money, and that is time. And there ain't nothing going on in life right now that I want to sacrifice the time for to watch a Star Wars show that I know is going to be absolute dumpster fire garbage. Now, that being said, I haven't heard that there's any sort of like, fixation on gay characters or anything to that effect. When you read through this article and you read what Leslie Headland actually said, it mostly sounds like fan fiction in her own noggin. So yeah, let's get to that. Actress Amanda Stenberg then chimed in saying, "Because nerds are gay," when the Wrap's interviewer stated, "Well, some nerds are very not gay and are very threatened by gay stuff." "Hi, what up? Name's Leon." Steinberg responded, "Well, that's true, but in my world, nerds are gay. Homie, I don't give a shit about your world. I care about the real world. And in the real world, shows like this are a degradation of what the franchise and what the IP used to be. In our world, which is the real world, Disney is losing money. Disney is losing literal hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars at this point because of mismanaged IP, because of mismanaged film release schedules, and because of course, shoving identity politics into quite literally every film they've done since, 2017 or so, and the results are coming back. It is absolutely diminished returns when it comes to specifically Star Wars and Marvel. I have heard no buzz about this. I've seen individuals on X talking about how they're not even going to hate watch it. So if you don't have the usual suspects doing the hate watching to make content out of it, just a content farm, then what do you even have? Who is this for? I've seen one single post, and the post from a girl, Lily, said something along the lines of, "I'm surprised to say episode 2 wasn't bad, but maybe that's because it's so far removed from Star Wars and so generic that I can't find anything to hate about how they've destroyed my franchise." Or it was something similar to that. So yeah, mad shout out to Lily. That was a good tweet. When asked if this was the fun element, Headley responded, "No, I don't think so. And yet people have told me it's the gayest Star Wars. And frankly, I'm into it." Well, I mean, when you take a look at this right here, they're literally just saying this for marketing purposes, as if this is good marketing. When you've got people like Target pulling 94% of their Pride merchandise during Pride Month and not even doing any sort of Pride stuff at the vast majority of their stores, Target knows that marketing doesn't work. When you see the Bud Light, here we are a year and a half later, however long it's been, Bud Light never recovered. We know that marketing doesn't work. When you see companies like Bethesda and Blizzard and Xbox haven't changed their profile pictures to the magical rainbow gay for pay profile pictures on X, that marketing doesn't work. And yet for some reason, Leslie Headland out here talking about it as part of me wonders if this is just how she genuinely thinks this is part of her mentality, or if these are the bulletin points she has got from Disney. Say, hey, make sure you say these things, show how diverse, show how inclusive we are. Neither one is better than the other, and I don't want to give Leslie Headland any credit, but only Disney and Sony seem still so stuck. Oh, and Wizards of the Coast, let's not forget Wizards of the Coast, seem still so stuck in this ideological bubble of let's make sure we have our gay talking points because that will translate to sales, or better yet, they probably know it won't translate to sales, but that's what we mean. The message is more important than making money. At least it is to these awful corporations. Next, Amandla, this is such a weird name, Amandla Stenberg declared, I think Star Wars is so gay already. I mean, have you seen the fits? We'd be like, look how gay this is, and send each other a reference photo. These are not the folks I want working on Star Wars. Like, anyone that uses, I don't even know, I was gonna say anyone that uses millennial or Gen Z lingo, like the fits. Have you seen the fits? Isn't someone I want working on Star Wars, but I don't even know that that's like millennial or Gen Z lingo, because I've never once heard that. I can kind of understand based on context what the fits means, but can you at least say something like drip? Like, drip is at least kind of cool. It's got like a sort of, when you talk about, Rollins in the WWE, you call him the drip god. Like, there's some respect to that term, but the fits just sounds like an angry baby. Like, Headland then said, are you telling me with a straight face that C-3PO is straight? I'm telling you, not even with a straight face because I can't do it. The C-3PO is a fucking robot and therefore doesn't have a sexual orientation. He ain't got the mechanics down low to be able to perform one way or the other. He was built on a desert planet by a genius 9-year-old. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna tell you with a straight face, yes, C-3PO is, again, he's not straight, I guess, technically, but he's not gay either. He's a fucking robot. And then the rap interviewer responded, they're a couple. That's what I think. Headland, R2-D2 and C-3PO are a couple. Headland then declared, I think it's canon that R2-D2 is a lesbian. Now, I'm sure she's just trying to be fun and cheeky and talk shit, but by the same token, if they are a couple, first of all, let's go with they're a couple. Well, how would they be a lesbian then? Because C-3PO, very obviously, again, he's not even really a dude, he's a droid, so he doesn't have biology, but very obviously a male played C-3PO. So R2-D2 and C-3PO, if they were a couple, wouldn't be lesbians because neither one's female. Also, Anakin specifically refers to R2-D2 as a he in Revenge of the Sith. And again, I know R2-D2 is not a he. He's a fucking robot as well, just like C-3PO. But it's just so weird to me that they're just gonna throw around these words like lesbian. I don't know, like, this is such a weird article to try and make sense of. I shouldn't even be trying to make sense of it. It's Disney Star Wars, it's Leslie Headland, who looks like a cross between Anita Sarkeesian and, like, a pug. But oh my goodness. This is not surprising, given Headland confirmed last year that she pitched the show as lesbian fan fiction with a Star Wars veneer. She said during an interview at Star Wars Celebration, when I saw Frozen as a grown-ass woman, I cried through the entire movie. There's no way anyone should accept that. If you, as a grown-ass woman, sat and cried through the entirety of Frozen, get therapy. Working in Hollywood is not for you. You need to seek professional attention. I understand crying in emotional moments in a movie. I understand certain films having an emotional resonance with you. But to cry through an entire 2-hour film that's made for children speaks to something being wrong with your gray matter. There was just something about the relationship between the sisters, like the devilization, de-villainization of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy, you know? The concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Because again, Disney makes sure to hire people that openly loathe heterosexual relationships. You know, the relationships that have kept the human race going for over 40,000 years, give or take. It just destroyed me completely. I wish it had destroyed you literally. She continued, and I thought, gosh, I would love to make something like this, for lack of a better term. Disney, meaning something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person, but I would have been able to understand as a queer person. And I think I would have been, you weren't queer's kid, because queer children don't exist, only indoctrinated children with mentally ill, sick in the head, disgusting parents. Happy Pride Month. And I think I would have a completely different life. I wish you had a a completely different life as well. One where you did not end up in Hollywood working for Harvey Weinstein, feeding him women to have, to sexually abuse for God knows how many years, and then moving on to commit arguably even worse atrocity, which is destroying Star Wars. And so I really was inspired by it and was like, God, I would love to make a story like this. I don't think God is listening to you, Lesbo. Like, look at this woman. Someone I saw in a tweet said they would like to cast Leslie Headland as live-action Peter Griffin. Oh my God, is that not accurate? Headland then took this idea and pitched it as the Acolyte. So when I was developing the original idea to pitch to Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy, I thought, well, I can't just be that. When you're pitching Star Wars, you have to pull from what George Lucas was also interested in. And at least she's acknowledging, I can't just do gay fan fiction if I'm going to make a Star Wars show. Like, there's got to be something related to Star Wars in it. Isn't Star Wars the one that has those weird light-up sword things? I think they were called lifesavers, sort of like the candy. Yeah, let's make sure that we make gay Star Wars, but we will include lifesavers, because I'm sure that's where her dome is at. I can't just be like, well, I'm referencing, especially if you're going to set something during the High Republic into the prequels. High Republic doesn't exist. It's just BBY, before the Battle of Yavin. You don't have the Skywalker saga. You can't reference a character that was created by George and/or Filoni. You have to create your own new characters. Yeah, Filoni greenlit this. Filoni's behind this. Filoni accepts this. Don't y'all be going over there sucking off Filoni. Headland also confirmed to IMDb, I did do a couple of RPG campaigns during COVID with my friends on Zoom, and there are a couple of characters from those campaigns that may or may not be in the show. There's a little bit of that. That is the worst possible thing of this entire article. That might be the worst thing you could say, because I have played RPGs like D&D or Werewolf the Apocalypse, Vampire the Reckoning. I've played RPGs with individuals like this, and all they want to do is make their entire character, look how sexual I am, look how flamboyant I am, or look at me always trying to be the jokester, look at me trying to be the comedian. Main character syndrome, even though it's supposed to be a party game where you all work together as a team and you let the game master tell the story or let the story evolve throughout the rules. But no, these individuals, just seeing someone like her playing RPG as someone that got their start as a Wizards of the Coast oriented channel, it's just a sickening thought. And I can imagine the sort of characters that were played with an individual like this in some sort of RPG campaign, and it is the exact opposite of what I want to see in Star Wars, which is hilarious considering one of the best RPGs that I ever played in my life was the Star Wars RPG. She added, the fan fiction that I wrote was many, many years ago, pre-internet, so it's not quite what the kids are doing now, but I will say I was always interested in female protagonists that were leaning towards the dark side of the Force, and being interested in that. I guarantee you got no goddamn idea who Mara Jade was until Google told you who Mara Jade was. Shut the fuck up, Leslie. And I think because I was little and I heard Ben Kenobi say Vader was seduced by the dark side, there was something about that. Like, it made my adolescent brain freak out. Like, why did he use the word seduce? Like, why did that happen? So I think possibly some of that ended up in the show as well. They're taking the term, first of all, being seduced by the dark side, just using the term seduce in that manner is not inherently sexual. So the fact that she took it that way as a child also goes to show that she's a few fries short of a Happy Meal. It boggles my mind that she's fixating on the word seduce. I also don't believe for a moment that as a child she fixated on the word seduce. She's saying all this now for the modern day talking points. But let's say she did. How screwed in the head would you be to be a child and fixate on that word? How little of a grasp do you have on the English language that you jump straight to something sexual? And not only did you jump straight to something sexual, but something sexual and then make it gay. Like, these are the type of individuals we're dealing with. You want to know why Disney Star Wars is failing? You already know why Disney Star Wars is failing. You don't need me to tell you. I don't have to make a 13, 14, 50-minute video to talk about why Disney Star Wars is failing from an actual Star Wars fan. There's a million channels out there doing that. I'm just here to kick it, laugh, have a good time because I read the headline, R2-D2 is a lesbian, and I thought, that is wrong on so many levels. And even if I have cast Disney Star Wars and frankly my Star Wars fan card into the deepest, darkest depths of Mount Doom myself, every now and again something's gonna pull me back in, for only to say, wow, look how the mighty have fallen. It is truly astounding, but for whatever reason, I can't stop smiling because I love seeing Star Wars die. I love seeing everything Disney has touched that they thought would turn to gold, turn to iron instead, and just absolutely sink to the bottom of the pits of despair of the ocean that they have created themselves. They left the faucet running, and now they cannot shut it off. It is amazing. Disney Star Wars can't die soon enough. Marvel will hopefully follow soon after. Let's get Amazon Rings of Power, Wizards of the Coast, D&D Magic the Gathering, all of that to follow in the footsteps as well. But if Star Wars is the first to go, I will die a happy fan. But those are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below, or let me know on X, where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about, Star Wars or Marvel or anything going on at Disney, but anime, movies, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You could join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos I react to on my Friday night live streams, and of course, get involved in the discourse with over 70 other vital idols. We are a bright, glowing, beautiful, brilliant, vibrant community, and I would love to see it continue to grow. So you can join the Discord, you get on there. We only care about one type of diversity, and that's diversity of thought. We love to disagree, we love to hear different opinions, and that's why I want to see you there. So hit that subscribe button, and until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.